Biography of Sir Francis Drake, Sailor, Pirate, Conqueror, Cartographer, by Christopher Newman. Sir Francis Drake was born in Tavistock, Devon, in England in the early 1540s. He was born in a poor family and was the eldest of 11 brothers. He was the son of Edmund Drake, a Protestant farmer who would later become a Protestant preacher for the English Navy, and Mary Milway. During the Catholic uprising in 1949, his family was forced to leave his home and move to Kent, near the sea, where they lived in the hull of an old ship. This left Francis with a bad impression of Catholics. 7 years later, while serving the English Navy, his father was killed by a Spanish conquistador. This led him to pledge his life to war against Spain, the largest Catholic nation of the time. He vowed to keep his family safe from Spain for as long as he lived. He left his family around the age of 13 and became part of the crew on a cargo ship. He learned his sailing skills from the elderly master of the vessel. He eventually became a captain of the ship by the age of 20, where the captain died, and he willed his ship to the young sailor. His next vessel was navigated the treacherous waters of the Northern Sea, and he further mastered his nautical skills aboard this ship. The captain of Drake's ship met an untimely death. Francis became captain. He made several voyages to the New World, part of Hawkins's family company with his cousin, Sir John Hawkins, and gained further experience as a sailor. Approximately in 1563, Francis led several raids on Spanish ports. This experience continued to foster his mistrust for Spaniards and Catholicism. A surprise attack by the Spanish nearly cost him his life, and sealed his devotion to spend the rest of his life working to defeat the Spanish Empire. He devastated the Spanish coast with continuous surprise attacks, making off with riches beyond measure. He married Mary Newman in 1569 after returning home. They had no children. After one of his adventures in Spain, 1572, he sailed to the Caribbean, then to Palma to attack Nombre de Dios, a port for Spanish ships bringing silver and gold from Peru. He captured the town but was seriously wounded. After he recovered, he continued his voyage and became the first Englishman to see the Pacific Ocean. Did this by climbing a tree in the Isthmus of Panama. In 1577, Drake was commissioned by Queen Elizabeth to sail against the Spanish inhabiting to the Pacific coast of the Americas. Sailed from Plymouth, England, aboard the Pelican, and discovered the passage around the tip of South America. He lost several ships along the way, but ultimately found his way and attacked Spanish settlements. He also claimed land for England, Nova Albon, Latin for New England, and started the first Protestant church in the New World. This ultimately led to England laying claim to everything north of the settlements Spain claimed in the New World. He made his way back to England by sailing through the Strait of Magellan, which is now known as Indonesia, around Africa's Cape of Good Hope. North around the coast of Africa, then he made it back to England in 1580. He was celebrated as the first Englishman to circle the globe and knighted by Queen Elizabeth. His victorious return was short-lived when his wife died a year later in 1581. He bought a property called Buckland Abbey and became mayor of Plymouth, a member of the Parliament. Drake made maps of the areas he traveled to document the existence of lands and seas he observed during his voyage. During the time in England, he remarried a girl 20 years his junior named Elizabeth Sidham. At the time, Drake was famous and wealthy, attracted attention of young socialite who came from a wealthy and well-to-do family. They moved to his East Estate but did not have any children. England and Spain went to war in 1585, and Queen Elizabeth unleashed Drake on the Spanish. He captured Cadiz, one of Spain's main ports, sinking 31 ships, capturing 6 others and destroying supplies. But the King of Spain was developing the most powerful navy in the world, called the Spanish Armada, consisting of 84 warships. Drake's attack delayed the completion of the Armada by a full year. When the Spanish Armada attack on England came in 1588, at this time Drake was Vice Admiral of the English Navy. He developed a strategy to win against the Spanish, so he was heavily outnumbered. He ordered several empty ships to be set on fire, sail these ships toward the Spanish formation in Cadiz. These caused confusion with the Armada and led them to break rank and sail into the open sea. The ships were then more vulnerable to the attack by the next more maneuverable English ships. The resulting battle was the Battle of Gravelines, in which Drake declared a clear and convincing victory over the so-called Invincible Armada. Drake continued his seafaring and pirating ways against Spanish settlements into his 50s until he contracted dysentery while attacking San Juan. He was ultimately buried at sea in a lead coffin in January of 1596 off the coast of Puerto Bello, Panama. Sir Francis Drake contributed history from both political and pioneering perspective. He fought against the Spanish Armada in the Battle of Gravelines. Without his efforts, England would have likely become part of Spain. His victory made him a hero to the English. He was the second man and the first Englishman to circumnavigate the globe. As a result of his voyage, Drake developed maps of the areas to help in understanding of the layout of the globe and how the future travelers might get from here to there, saving time from countless ships using his routes instead of getting lost or developing new or more difficult passageways.